Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you are having an awesome week so far. I hope you're looking forward to a fantastic weekend. Welcome. Julia, nice to see you. Chang Kip, good to see our members. Hi Zarina, hi Isa. Today, everyone, we are looking at IELTS Speaking Part 1, the first part of the IELTS Speaking interview. And Speaking Part 1 is usually some kind of a general topic in connection to you, your life, your experiences. And today's topic will be about communication, a topic that could easily come up in your next IELTS exam. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. Both of those websites have lots of information to help you improve for IELTS. We will be using the websites today for our speaking with students. This is our academic IELTS website here at aehelp.com. You can click that big red button to join our premium IELTS package that's just above my head there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. I'm a certified British Council agent, and we are IDP affiliates, British Council partners, and an official IELTS test registration center. For the general IELTS, visit us here with the green background at gieltshelp.com. Again, click this big red button there just above my head. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access, so you can use it as long as you like. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's a great investment to follow with our courses, with our live classes. These websites basically are the textbooks for these live classes, so make sure to follow us there. You can use this discount code that we have this week. It's Target9 for a 20% discount when you register, so make sure to use that. Save yourself even a bit more. Again, that code is Target9. So like I say, the websites, they are complimentary to these live classes, so definitely check them out to increase your learning efficiency. You can also get our apps from your app store, Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help. Those apps will link to the websites. They have lots of great videos, and you can follow us on Instagram for even more tips, strategies, vocabulary. Check us out, IELTS_AE Help for academic and GIELTS Help for general. If you still have questions, send me an email. My email address is adrian@aehelp.com, just right above my head there. That's my name, at aehelp.com. I love questions, so send me any question you have about the IELTS exam or our products. Welcome, Carolina, our chat moderator. Nice to have you here to keep it all clean. I can see you're already hard at work. I'm doing a fantastic, Sam. Thank you for asking. We are going to get into our IELTS Speaking Part 1 questions in just a moment. Happy start to September, everybody, by the way. We are going into the start of a fresh school year for many students and learners. And we have lots of classes for you. So we've got Speaking Part 1 right now. Tomorrow we will start the day with Task 2 writing. Then we will go to listening. We will finish the listening exam we started last week with Part 1, Part 2. And then we will have Speaking Part 2 and Speaking Part 3 on Saturday. So lots more classes in English learning to be had coming up. And we have a great video for you to check out and improve your speaking when you have a chance. This is one of our HD releases. I'll put that into the chat. There you go. It's in the chat, the link. You can check that out when you've got a few minutes. And that will be great for your continued practice for the speaking section. Definitely, students, subscribe to this channel. We are the most popular channel for learning for the IELTS on YouTube. So subscribe, hit that notification button, know what's going on and when it's happening. Let's get into IELTS speaking part 1. So IELTS speaking section, it is done usually separately from the other 3 parts. Although there is a new home version of the exam. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But if you are going to the exam center, then your speaking interview, which is about 12 to 15 minutes, it is done separately from your listening, reading, writing. Now, there are definitely a few steps that you can take leading up to your IELTS speaking interview, which will help you to get the highest band score possible, the best result possible. So let's talk a little bit about on the day of your speaking interview. On the day of the speaking interview, you should do what? All right, we've got a lot of students who watch our channel regularly, so let's just do a little refresher here as we get into today's questions. So on the day of the speaking interview, I'm just going to give you a few very important tips that can help you to really improve your band score, your performance. All right, as you know, with a lot of professional athletes, runners, basketball players, with professional workers like doctors, for example, they have certain kinds of routines. They have certain kinds of behaviors that they pay attention to on the day when they need to really perform. They have an important surgery, or they have a big race coming up. And that kind of, it's the same when you're doing exams. So when you're doing an exam, it's kind of like doing a race. And you should have, a very clear routine or behaviors that you should follow. And it's no different for the IELTS speaking. So what should you do on the day? Okay, Amra says, find someone before going to the exam and practice speaking English. Yes, find a person to practice your English with at least an hour before your exam. Go to the exam center early and find another candidate. Organize a meeting with a tutor to practice an IELTS script. Absolutely, yeah, Amra, that's definitely a step to take. Okay, what else? Tarasaur says, speak English only. Yes, absolutely, Tarasaur. So speak in English only. Make sure to switch your mind into English. So speak English only on the day of the interview. Tell your friends and your family about the importance of the exam and that you will only speak with them in English. Even if it's weird, it's frustrating, even if your mom does not speak English, let her know. Speak English to her. She will understand. She's your mom. She loves you. She wants you to be successful. Okay. Raksha says, be confident. Mal says, wake up on time, hopefully. Yes, Mal, you know, you smile and you laugh, but there's actually logic to what you just said. So wake up at least 3 hours before your exam and do get a good night's rest before your exam. The brain takes about 3 hours after waking up to reach its maximum potential. Okay, so scientific study has proven that for most people, about 3 hours after waking up is when our brains are extremely functional. If your exam is in the afternoon, like if it's at 3 or 4 p.m., you might think about taking a siesta, a little bit of an afternoon nap to give your brain an extra charge. So if your exam is in the afternoon, plan to have a nap 3 hours before, or maybe 4 hours before, so that you don't sleep through the exam. A nap 4 hours before the test to give your mind an extra boost. Sure, that could help. Okay, Fuang Khan says, remember to talk to the examiner as a grandparent. Yeah, so Fuang, there's a couple of important points to remember, absolutely. So D, as you are going into the interview, remember some key points to maximize your score. Firstly, keep in mind that the examiner is like your grandparent, your grandmother, your grandfather. Speak clearly, loudly, in full sentences, with detail and confidence. Okay? And politely, right? With respect. Okay, so talk to the examiner like you're talking to your grandfather or your grandmother. Absolutely. Okay, Harpreet says, I live in a village. It's very hard to find a speaking partner. Harpreet, find someone online. That was my previous tip there. Okay, so find a person online. You can actually do that on our website, Harpreet, potentially. Okay, I'll show you how and where. All right, and going back to point D, okay, so remember, think about the examiner as your grandfather, grandmother. Also, okay, remember important points like giving answers, plus explanations, plus examples. Okay, it's very important. Answer, explain, example. What else is important to remember? So you remember that, okay, when I'm answering a question, I have to answer, give an explanation, and often include an example to support my explanation. What else? Okay. Sanjeev, you should always have an idea about the question. If you really don't understand the question, ask for the next question. Okay, Cutie Patootie says, paraphrase as much as possible. Yeah, sure. Okay, so paraphrase and use the questions in your answers. I agree. That's good to do. Okay. Yeah, so use the questions, be fluent from the very beginning. So be fluent from the very start, from the introductory questions. Okay. Look the examiner in the eye. But no need to stare at them. Okay. Amra says, don't use the word you in things. Yeah. Things, and definitely avoid the word stuff. Okay, so there's lots of, strategies that we've talked about in past classes. Use numbers, right? It's a very important one. Okay. So have these kind of thoughts going through your mind even as you're practicing. So as you're doing suggestion A, find a person to practice with. While you're doing A, you should already have D in mind. So as you're practicing with another candidate or a tutor, you should always be thinking about these points that we just discussed in D. Okay. All right, so you're doing all of these. You're feeling good. You're definitely at your top performance. Have a bottle of water with you. By the way, I don't mention this a lot, but definitely take a bottle of water with you with no writing or labels on it. Okay, and remember to take a sip of water to help hydrate, calm yourself, and wet the whistle. Okay, this is an expression in English. Wet your whistle. When your mouth is really dry, it's very hard to whistle. Whistling is like, okay, and if your mouth is really dry, then it's kind of like, it's not really a whistle. It's just sad. So you want to wet your whistle when you have liquid in your mouth. When you have liquid in you, then you can speak better. Your tongue moves better. It's like oil for the mouth to kind of get it moving and make it audible. So take a sip of water. It's kind of a good trick to buy time too. Okay, so this is kind of trick to buy a bit of time for a couple of answers and to help calm yourself. Okay, so you want to have a good conversation, and for good conversations you need to be calm, confident, and fluent. And if we get, especially when you're nervous, so when we get nervous and when we're stressed, that's absolutely when our mouth turns into a really dry mouth. Here's a bonus question before we start to get into the interview. When somebody has a very dry mouth and they're talking kind of like this, then what is that called in English? There's actually an expression for that. Anybody know? Let's see who has really mastered the English language. So when somebody has dry mouth, there's a way we refer to that in English. Anybody know what that is? Let's see. That's a very challenging question. And no Googling. Tongue-tied, Baljeet, means that a person cannot speak necessarily, but it's not having a very dry mouth. There's another way we say that. It's a bit of a tricky expression. You really just have to know it. Sarah says xerostomia. I think that's the scientific word for it, Sarah, but there's an expression for it. See, Googling might not even help you in this case unless you do a lot of reading. It's called, that's right, Arjun, very good. It's called cotton mouth. Yeah, when somebody has cotton mouth, it means that their mouth is really dry and they're having trouble speaking. So, cotton mouth, yeah. Very good. Arjun, did you know that or did you Google it? Okay, so you want to avoid cotton mouth in the IELTS exam. So bring some water with you, okay? Take a sip, relax. All right, having said that, Let's get into IELTS speaking. So you're in the interview. You've gotten called in by the examiner. The examiner introduces the speaking section. They say, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. I will give you instructions for each of the 3 parts. We are conducting this exam in Victoria. The time right now is 14 o'clock. This is Exam Center JJY 312, examiner number 4731388925, and candidate number 776325189. Now we shall begin. I'm recording this for marking and clerical purposes. So they give you this speech. It's about a 30-second, 40-second speech. It's standard, it's procedure. While they're giving you the speech, visualize grandpa, visualize grandma, take a sip of water, take a deep breath. You're doing fine. You're speaking English. It's not surgery. And then the examiner will start by asking you, may I see your identification, please? Now, this is speaking, everybody, so make sure to speak and repeat. And we will actually speak with volunteers today as well, so get ready for that. So give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. May I see your identification, please? It's good to repeat the questions as well as the answers. Okay. Masala says, yes, gladly. Here's my passport that I have used for registration for the IELTS exam. Or Masala, yes, gladly. Here's my passport that I have used to register for the IELTS exam. Please take a look at my credentials. So careful, Masala, with your word form. It's register, not registration. And it's for, or look at my IELTS credential, or sorry, look at my credentials. So careful, Masala. Okay. Amra says, yes, absolutely. Here's my passport that I have used to register for this exam a couple of weeks ago. Please take a look. Good, Amra. Okay, that's perfect. Osama, of course, here you are. A bit simple. Osama, if you say, of course, here you are, or here you go, this is okay. And you can get a band 9 like this. But this does not help your fluency. You should remind yourself to be fluent with these first questions right from the start. So instead, you should say a little bit more fluent, like this. Certainly. Here is my passport that I have used for registration. Please have a look at my details. Okay, you can say that as well. So, of course, here you are. It's, you know, it's okay, but you definitely want to show fluency. It's not so much for the examiner, because yes, the examiners like concise answers for these first couple, but it's more for you. Okay, it's more for your own thinking to be like, okay, I have to be fluent. So yes, I could answer this question in a shorter way, but I have to just really get my brain going on fluent answers. So answer the question more fluently. Okay. May I see your identification, please? Certainly. Here's my passport that I have used for registration. Please have a look at my credentials. All right. And then the next question is, what is your full name? So again, be fluent. What is your full name? My First name is Christina, and my surname is Anderson. Please just call me by my nickname, Chrissy. Christy, sure. All right. So, fluent. Give your full name as it is in your passport. Don't confuse the examiner. If you say a different name than your passport, they're going to look at you like, why is it a different name? So same name, and tell them what you want to be called. Don't wait for that question. Okay, so what is your full name? My first name is Christina and my surname is Anderson. Please just call me by my nickname, Christy. Okay. Sure, Christy. I'm going to ask you some more questions to get to know you better, and some questions on a general topic. Dorothy says, my first name is Isadora and my surname is Cruz. Please call me Isa. Instead of you can call me Isa, you can call me Isa is okay. Please call me Isa is a bit more polite. It's a bit more respectful. It sounds a little bit better. Makrem Gulyuz says, my first name is Makrem, middle name Kansu, and my last name is Gulyuz, but please just call me by my first name, Makrem. That's what I'm used to. Okay, Harry Jot says, my given name is Harjot and my surname is Thind, but just call me Harjot. Okay, good. Yeah, nice. So, good. Okay, and then the examiner might ask you something like, where do you live? It's a very popular question for the warm-up questions. Where do you live? Okay, I live in Victoria, which is the capital city of British Columbia. And it is situated on the southern tip of Vancouver Island. I have lived here all my life, and currently I reside in a 2-bedroom townhouse with my family near downtown. Okay, so definitely give details. Okay, if you just say something like, I live in Delhi, okay, how do I know that that's a band 9? A band 4 level student can say, I live in Delhi. Okay, or I live in Victoria. Okay, that's a band 4. And yes, they are judging you right away. This is a band 9. Okay, so you need clarity, you need detail for a band 9. Okay, this is not give the least amount of information possible to get through it type test. Okay, so again, where do you live? I live in Victoria, which is the capital city of British Columbia, and it is situated on the southern tip of Vancouver Island. I have lived here all my life, and currently I reside in a 2-bedroom townhouse with my family near downtown. Okay. Raw Voice says, I live in, oh, it's gone. Carolina, yeah, I see the Y because it was spammed. Okay. Ravinder says, I live in Jaipur, known as the Pink City, capital of the state of Rajasthan. Okay, Ravinder, careful with your language details there. Okay, you want to make it sound natural and clear, so here we go. Okay, Ravinder, I live in Jaipur, comma, known as the Pink City. You can even see Grammarly correcting that. Pink City. It is the capital of the state of. So I can tell Ravinder that you need to pay more attention to your use of articles like the. Okay. Rajasthan. And your residence? I live in a 1-bedroom apartment in the heart of the city. So a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more if you want those high band scores. Tarasura says, I was born and bred in Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. Yeah, it's a good expression, Tarasura, but again, include your residence. So Hanoi is a big city. Jaipur is a big city as well. You need to include a bit more information, a bit more detail for the examiner to really get those high marks for fluency, lexical resource, grammatical range accuracy. Okay, so you need more. You need more details. I was born and bred in Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, and currently I reside in a 2-bedroom condo near the river. Okay. All right. So a little bit more detail. And then the examiner can ask you a follow-up question. So the IELTS speaking is it's a bit interesting because sometimes in part 1 of the speaking, you get a lot of different questions like, where do you live? What is your hobby? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? And they're all kind of different questions. And then a lot of times you get questions that are really connected. So the examiner's like, where do you live? What do you like about living there? How long have you lived there? Where would you like to move after you leave this place? So they really connect the questions. So you need to be ready for both. Okay, and the next question here is, what do you like about living there? Okay, so I really love that the air is fresh, and there are a lot of green spaces like parks around the city. Also, I enjoy the nearby amenities. In fact, it only took me 10 minutes to walk to this exam center from my home. Okay, so again, this would be a band 9 response. Okay, it has details, explanation, good vocabulary. So just repeat after me. What do you like about living there? I really love that the air is fresh and there are a lot of green spaces like parks around the city. Also, I enjoy nearby amenities. In fact, it only took me 10 minutes to walk to this exam center from my home. Notice this 10 minutes. And to kind of explain and give an example, numbers are really good, and you should use a number as early as possible to remind you to use numbers throughout your speaking. Okay, so using numbers for explanations and examples is a very good idea, because it really boosts your coherence score. So use a number as early as possible to remind you to do this throughout the speaking interview. Okay? Everybody clear on that? So that's a really important point. Give me a thumbs up. Try to use a number when you answer this question. So even if you answered this question already, try to answer it again and try to use a number, okay? So that you remind yourself, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, numbers. Numbers are really good for talking to a stranger, okay? When we meet people for the first time, we will often use numbers, right? Like, oh, I live 3 blocks from here. If you want to go to the supermarket, you need to walk for about 500 meters that way. So numbers are really important because strangers don't know us. They don't know what we're thinking. They don't know what is meant by big or small or far or close. So numbers help us to really communicate, okay? All right. Everybody thumbs up. Umang says, I'm not able to understand. Umang, you need to use numbers so that qualitative information becomes quantitative information. Okay. So Raw Voice says it is a small city. So Raw Voice, what is a small city? Only 20,000 people? 5,000 people, 100,000 people. So what does small city mean for you? I bet you small city in India is very different than small city in Canada. All right, so there's some good thumbs up there. So numbers as early as possible in your responses. All right. All right, Baljeet says, I really love the convenience of this place as it is not only 2 blocks away from my university, but my favorite gym also. Okay, very good. Yeah, so that, Baljeet, would be a good example of use of numbers. So I really love the convenience of this place as it is not only 2 blocks away from my university, but very close, but just 1 block from my gym also. Okay, let's give a bit more detail. Why not? More numbers, the better. All right, Julia says, I really love the scenery from my window. There's a river, woods, a big sky. I work remotely and I enjoy looking out my window while attending meetings and doing my job. All right, Julia, let me show you what I mean by adding numbers. So this is what Julia says here. Okay. So just a little extra, Julia, just a little extra. So I really love the, not sight, it would be more natural to say view or scenery. I really love the view from my window. There is a river. It's 1. There is a river. Instead of woods, I would stick with the singular. So I would say forest and the open sky, not big sky, the open sky. I work remotely and I enjoy the scenery while attending online meetings and doing my job from 9 to 5. Okay, just that little bit from 9 to 5, right? Julia, now I know that, oh, okay, you're sitting there for 8 hours. So yes, definitely having a good view makes your living space more enjoyable, right? Because you're doing your work intensely for 8 hours a day. So having that good view, so it's clear, like, oh, I can see Julia sitting there all day long. So a little bit of numbers goes a long way. Okay, keep that in mind. A little bit of numbers. Do you see that, Julia? A little bit of numbers goes a long way for better communication. Okay. All right, everybody got it? Okay, so then the examiner might introduce the topics such as communication, right? So today that's what we're focusing on. Let's talk about communication. Why not? It's a hot topic. everybody does it. For part one, they usually have topics that everybody knows, everybody does. Hobbies, sports, music, communication. We all communicate. I don't think I have ever met a person who hasn't communicated. Because of course we would never meet the person who does not communicate. If you meet them, they communicate. Right? All right, so here we go. First question. What technology do you use to communicate to others? Sure. Yeah, could be the question. Right? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this. What technology do you use to communicate to others? All right. I'll give you an answer. You give me an answer. Then we will compare. Okay. There are several different types of devices I implore to reach out to friends, family, and colleagues, such as my phone, of course, my computer, and tablet. Also, I use software like Messenger, Instagram, and even YouTube. To communicate. In fact, I was practicing for this speaking this morning with my friend on my phone using WhatsApp. All right. There we go. Implore means to use. Implore is just a fancy way to say use. Okay. All right. So I'm using the question, giving details. Here we go. What technology do you use to communicate to others? There are several different types of devices I implore to reach out to my friends. Reach out is another way to say communicate. Reach out. Reach out. Connect. To friends, family, and colleagues, such as my phone, my computer, and tablet. You don't have to rush. You can really enunciate these words that are the answer, such as my phone, my computer, and tablet. Also, I use software like Messenger, Instagram, and even YouTube to communicate. In fact, I was practicing for this speaking this morning with my friend on my phone using WhatsApp. Awesome. Okay. Answer, explanation, example. All right. Let's see what Masira Ben has for us right now. Masira Ben says, I take help of some social media applications like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram to do daily conversation with my kith and kin. Kith and kin. Kind of weird. Don't really use that. It's overused. And you know, we don't actually use the word kith and kin in native. It's kind of Old English. Maybe in Scotland or Ireland they use it. You will basically never hear people say kith and kin. Sometimes you hear the word kin, but in a different kind of context. So in the US or in Canada, if you say kith and kin, some people will look at you and be like, are you from Scotland? Or did you live in Scotland or Ireland? It's more the place where I could see those words being used. Okay, but they're not too common. And it's not I take the help. Masir Ben, great effort, but not I take the help. With the help. With the help of some social media applications like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram, I engage in some daily conversation. You don't need some, just daily conversation with my friends and family. Now, don't forget your example. This morning, I was chatting with my best friend in English using WhatsApp. Okay? So include that example. Examples are important for fluency clarity. Okay? All right, Lois has an answer for us. Lois says, I use a Samsung mobile phone to communicate to friends and family. This is because the phone is convenient and available. I called my mother when I traveled to Accra last week. Lois, not bad. Let me show you how to make it a little bit better. So, here the question is, what technology do you use to communicate to others? And so you don't need more than one. One is okay. I use a Samsung. You don't need to say Samsung. I use my mobile phone. Samsung is kind of unnecessary extra information. I use my mobile phone to communicate to friends and family. This is because the phone is convenient and available. All right, good explanation. I called my mother when I traveled to Accra last week, since it was the only device that I had taken with me. Okay, right? So the example proves your explanation that it's convenient and available, right? So oftentimes we use the phone because it's small, it fits into our pocket, and we don't need to take our computer or any other device, right? So when you travel to Accra, it was the only device that you had taken with you. And then notice how now I was able to also add in that past perfect into the example, okay? Grammatical range is an important part of those high band 8, band 9 scores, all right? So keep that in mind. Always take that extra little step, and with practice, you can master this. All right, everybody. Here's a very fun part of the lesson coming up, and a very useful part of the lesson where I speak to our viewers. And we've got 400 of you watching right now, which is just awesome. So we should see a lot of volunteers for speaking, and you can volunteer and speak with me through our website at aehelp.com. Our website has a chat interface like WhatsApp and like Messenger. So just like that, we can talk to each other and we can learn from each other. So what you want to do is you want to go to the website, aehelp.com. aehelp, there's a P there. So go to aehelp.com, and when you're in aehelp.com, you can sign up for our premium course. It's kind of like the textbook for these live classes. So if you want to get the textbooks, all of our practice exams, strategies, interactive courses that we use, then you can click that big red button to join the premium package. Again, I keep telling people to do this because I know it will be good for you. And then once you join, you can go to your My Student account. And in your My Student account, you will find this student partner speaking function where you can talk with other students. You will also find this function just underneath it. It's the speaking interview practice. That one you can use when you're ready to book a full mock IELTS speaking interview session with me. And for some of you, if you see this, you can even book your official IELTS exam through our website. Again, as I said, we are partnered with IDP and British Council, and I'm a British Council agent. So you can do that. All right, so click on the student partner speaking, click I accept, and you will see lots of beautiful people in here. We can see that we have Nilufar are in here. Piotr, Sarah, Alexander, Kishore, Juan Pablo, Yanni, Baljeet, and many, many more. And then you see this blue envelope there. You will see a person in there who is me. I am in here as master. Okay, so you'll see me as master. Click on the blue envelope beside my handle, master, and then send me a message. Say, I want to volunteer, or can I try, or I would like to speak. And then I will see you pop up, and I can reach out to you. So let me just reach out to someone we haven't spoken to in a while here. Let's see if Yanni is available. Yanni says, I want to volunteer. I'm ambitious, still weak at speaking. Okay, Yanni, are you ready? All right. Oh, and yes, of course, I have to put on my ears so I can hear you better. Okay, Yanni, here we go.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Yanni. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. How about you?
I am doing fantastic. Yanni, I think you can move a little bit back from the microphone, just a little bit further from the microphone. I can hear you quite loudly. It's good. Okay, Yanni, where are you calling from?
I'm coming from Indonesia, which is in Jakarta.
Okay, you're calling from Jakarta, which is in Indonesia.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, the other way around, right? Jakarta is in Indonesia, not the other way. Okay, good. All right, it's pretty late in Indonesia now, isn't it?
Yeah.
What time do you have there?
Right now is 9:52.
9:52 p.m. and you're
Yeah.
practicing English. Good for you, Yanni. All right. And why are you taking the IELTS exam?
I'm taking the IELTS exam for university enrollment
University enrollment. What are you
Yeah.
planning to study?
in Australia.
And what are you planning to study?
I'm taking for the bachelor degree of biotechnology.
Bachelor's degree in biotechnology. Okay, that sounds really interesting. Difficult and interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Yanni, well, let me help you prepare a little bit for this speaking section. I will ask you questions just like the examiner. Just give me some nice full sentence answers, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we are currently conducting this exam in Jakarta. The time right now is 9:53 p.m. Now we shall begin. May I see your identification, please?
Gladly, here is my passport that I have used for register the exam. Please have a look.
What is your full name?
My full name is Yanni Putri, and please call me by just by my first name, Yanni.
Okay, Yanni. I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic for part one. Where do you live?
I live in city of South Tangerang, which is an outskirt of Jakarta. I live with my parents and my younger brother in housing complex.
And what do you like about living there?
The reason why I like to living in my current place because it is far from the noise of the city and the situation is very cool. Sometimes it is very easy to access the facilities such as the mall or the convenience store that are very close to my house.
Let's talk about communication. What technology do you use to communicate to others?
Well, I use my smartphone to communicate the others. I usually talking for indirectly with my family and my closest friends. Sometimes I use Instagram, Line, and WhatsApp to discuss about the tests and how we can go out for a hangout. with my fellow friends.
Okay, very good. That would be about a band 6.5 to maybe even a 7. So six on the low end. Okay, so some examiners that are grammar sergeants might give you a 6, but I think most examiners would probably give you a 6.5. And that's because your fluency is about a band 7, your coherence is about a band 7, your grammatical range and accuracy is about a 5.5. Your pronunciation is about an 8, and your lexical resource is about a band 6. So overall, you would get about a score of band 6.5. Okay, your answers are quite good. So you're really paying attention to answer, explanation, example. I think where you are losing the most marks is with your grammar. You make some grammar mistakes consistently. So you're making grammar mistakes with articles and with word form. So oftentimes you have a missing article like the or you're missing a preposition like for, in, at. And sometimes your word form is incorrect. So you're using an adjective form instead of noun form, for example. And it's not confusing, so I can understand what you're saying, but it just sounds a bit awkward. Okay, so what you want to do is always record yourself when you're practicing your speaking. If you're practicing by yourself, record it. Use speech-to-text software. So even Google can change your speech into text. And then use a grammar check software like Grammarly or Microsoft Word to check the grammar and change it. Okay, do you kind of follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can get it what I'm saying.
Okay, and then when you have the correct grammar, then say it and record it again and then listen to it. Okay, let me show you really quickly what I mean. I asked you, may I see your identification, please? That was my first question. Okay, and you said, gladly, here's my passport that I have used to register the exam. You cannot make a mistake with these first couple questions. It just sounds really bad when you have grammar mistakes in the first question or the first answer. So, gladly, here's my passport that I have used to register for. And you notice how before that, Grammarly is correcting it. It says for the exam. Please have a look. So it's that kind of little correction that'll give you that band 7.5, 8. Okay?
Okay, sometimes I'm forgetting.
Yeah, so you really have to give that extra effort to correct the grammar, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Yanni, have an awesome rest of your night in Jakarta. Keep watching.
Okay, thank you so for the...
You're welcome. Bye for now. All right, give Yanni a thumbs up. I could tell she was a bit nervous. I think that was the first time we heard Yanni, maybe. We should always support each other. So that's why I'm looking at the chat, making sure that you're saying, good job, Yanni. And I can see Carolina giving lots of thumbs ups to Yanni. That is fantastic. Okay, good. Yes, we want to support each other. Juan, we haven't talked to in a while, so let's give Juan a chance. Juan, are you ready? Okay, now the information that I'm giving you, it's not just for the person I'm talking with, but it's for everybody. So that's how grammar can affect your score in the IELTS. Grammar is important for coherence and for clarity, so be careful. And many IELTS examiners are quite strict about grammar and grammar mistakes. Okay.
Hello?
Hi, Juan. How are you?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Juan, correct me if I'm wrong. You're in Argentina.
Yes.
All right. Got it. Got it. All right. Are you in Buenos Aires?
No, I am actually in a small city here in Patagonia. It's 1,000 kilometers from Buenos Aires.
It's 1,000 kilometers. Yeah, Argentina is very long. You're in Patagonia. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful place, though. I'd love to visit there someday.
Yeah, you should come.
For
You
sure.
know,
I will. I will probably do Mendoza, the wine region, and then go even further south. All right, Juan. Let's get into it. It's good to hear your voice. Let me ask you a few questions. Are you ready?
yes, I'm ready.
Okay, then let's talk about communication. What technology do you use to communicate to others?
When it comes to technology to communicate with others, I use on a daily basis my phone, which has 4G, the 4G technology wireless, and I use it every day to communicate with my family and also friends. Um, just yesterday, I was in the park with my niece, and I took some pictures and I sent them right away to the WhatsApp group of the family, so everybody could watch it. Well, could look at them right away.
Which is your favorite way to communicate?
I can say that with confidence that my favorite way to communicate with other people is face to face, because I can have a complete and honest communication thanks to body language and tones of voice, and you can have a complete communication with someone, especially if it's a friend or family member, but also in business. Yeah, with internet and also
How often do you
even
send text messages?
I send text messages every day on a daily basis. Um, as I said before, to family members and also friends. Um, this morning I was texting with a friend. She's from the United States, and she's language exchange partner, and we often do language exchange.
Okay. All right. Okay, Juan. It's a solid band 7, I would say. Okay, so
Mhm.
fluency, definitely a band 7 to 8. Coherence, band 7 to 8. Lexical resource, also 7 to 8. Grammatical range and accuracy, about a 7. Pronunciation, I'd say 7 to 8. So a solid 7 for sure. You did you used some very good strategies. My most important advice for you, and I think this is what's hurting this is what's keeping your coherence score at 7. So I think that's why you get a 7 here, is because the coherence is definitely stuck at a 7. You overspeak. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now as well. You're repeating yourself. So instead of repeating yourself, be more concise and give further details. Okay. Let me just look at a couple of your answers in more detail, because you use some great strategies. So let's talk about communication. I said, what technology do you use to communicate to others? You said, when it comes to technology to communicate, it's a bit wordy. Okay. I mean, I get it. It's the first question. You're just getting going. It's fine. And you're using the question to others. I use my phone on a daily basis, which has G4 of wireless. Okay. I'm your grandfather, Juan.
Mhm.
Well, as soon as you say G4 wireless to me, you're going to get one of these looks. Okay? Um, you know why. G what, Sonny? G who? Um, So if you're going to say something like G4, you need to give a little bit more for me to understand what you're talking about, right? Which has G4 wireless that is very fast for data to send pictures and videos. Okay, then I get it. Okay, then I get why you're telling me G4. Okay, and then you say I use it to communicate to friends and family. I took some pictures the other day and sent it to all my friends in an instant. So anytime you introduce something unique or specific with technology, then make sure to explain it, especially in part 2, the cue card. A lot of candidates do this where they talk about a specific part of their lives, like their university major or some unique hobby or business, and then they forget to explain to the listener what it really is, and the examiner will kind of be like looking like, well, what are you talking about, right? Like if Yanni started talking about biotechnology, I'd be like, like what? So you have to be careful. Let me say this and then just repeat after me, okay?
Okay.
The technology I use daily to communicate to others is my mobile phone, which has G4 wireless. It makes it very fast for data to send pictures and videos. I use it to communicate to friends and family. Yesterday, I took pictures and sent it to all my friends in an instant.
Okay. The technology that I use to communicate to others is my mobile phone, which I use on a daily basis, which has G4 wireless that is very fast for data to send pictures and videos. I use it to communicate to friends and family. I took some pictures the other day and sent it to all my friends in an instant.
Band 8.5. Okay, that's the difference. The difference when you get up into those high band scores like 7, 8, 9, and the differences start to get a lot smaller. But that is the difference between a band 7 and a clear band 8. Okay, so this version that you just used, that was a clear band 8. It was just a clear explanation. It was more concise, more to the point, more connected. So it deserves that band 8 versus that band 7. Okay, if you were a little bit more fluent, it would have been as high as a band 9. Okay, makes sense?
Yeah.
All right. Now, there's one other point that I really wanted to point out from Juan, and everybody pay attention to this because this was a very clever move by Juan, and it's an interesting one, Juan. So I want to show this to everybody. This third question I asked you, which is your favorite way to communicate? And you said, I can say with confidence. That was a very nice expression, by the way, to use in this context. I can say with confidence that my favorite way to communicate is face-to-face. That was very clever that you realized, yeah, of course, we like to be in the same room with a person talking. And then you said, because you. And as you know, Juan, I have a problem with that word you, because part 1 is not about the examiner, it's about you, the candidate. So you changed it. You were very smart. You realized, you're like, oh, I shouldn't say you. And then you changed it to I. That was a good correction. That was self-correction. Self-corrections are looked at positively in the IELTS speaking. So I really liked how you, if I were your examiner, you would have picked up half a band score for your overall score just for that correction. So that was a really great correction. You said, my favorite way to communicate is face-to-face because you, and then you stopped for a second, then you said, I can have a complete communication. We don't need the I can have complete communication. But then you switched back to you. Okay? Then you said, you can have So once you correct yourself, don't repeat your mistake, okay? So pay attention to then stick with the I, me, my, okay? So I can have a complete communication. I can have a more emotional conversation, not just for personal relationships, but also for business. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is for everybody. We're going to do some repetition here. Juan, you're going to repeat me, but I want everybody to repeat this because it's a very clever correction that Juan initiated, and then we'll stick to it for the rest of it. So I'm going to repeat this answer and copy me once I'm done, Juan, okay? All right. So I can say with confidence that my favorite way to communicate is face-to-face because I can have complete communication and I can have a more emotional conversation, not just for personal relationships, but for business also. Which is your favorite way to communicate?
I can say with confidence that my favorite way to communicate is face to face because I can have a complete communication. I can have a more emotional conversation, not just for personal relationships, but also for business.
Great. Okay. So those are my tips for you today, Juan. Keep it up, my good man, and enjoy the rest of the day in Argentina.
Okay, thank you. You too, and thank you for choosing me.
You're welcome. Bye, Juan. All right, that was Juan. Give Juan a thumbs up. He did do a great job. That was fantastic. All right, let's keep going here. Baljeet, if you are here, let's try a question. Baljeet is a long-time member of our channel. He's very studious. So let's give him a chance to answer a question or two. Baljeet, if you're there, let me know.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Baljeet. How is the day?
I am doing great so far.
So far, all right. Well, let's hope that keeps going for you. Okay, Baljeet, are you ready to answer some questions?
Yes, sir. I'm ready as I'll ever be.
That's a great way to be. Here we go. Which is your favorite way to communicate?
I usually like to communicate with my friends as person because with the face-to-face conversation, I can have more emotional feelings toward the other person. Like yesterday, I was having conversation of Asia World Cup with my friend Lovedev, and it was very emotional conversation about this tournament, and we really enjoyed it also.
How often do you send text messages?
Hmm, when it comes to messaging, I rarely send messages to my friends or my colleagues as well. Like just 1.5 hours daily, approximately 7 to 8 hours in a week. Like yesterday, I was talking to my friends over messages about the book called The Think Like Monk by Jay Shetty.
What is good about your communication?
Hmm, I consider myself a good communicator because I always focus on a major part of the communication, such as eye contact, and always have smile on face. Moreover, I uh, love to quantify my communication, my main idea of any topic. Like yesterday, I was uh, talking to my friend about digital electronics, and I gave him examples in certain ways that he could easily understand the uh, what was the digital
How
electronics.
can you improve? Okay, so I have to interrupt you because you're just talking and talking. I'm going to interrupt you there, Baljeet. But you're doing good. Don't overspeak. Keep your examples shorter, okay? All right?
Okay, sir.
All right, so that's about 50% 6.5, 50% 7. So I think half the examiners would give you a 6.5, half the examiners would give you a 7, depending on who you get. If you don't overspeak, I think you can get that 7. Okay, so just keep your examples a little bit simpler. I know that you're really practicing using new language that you learn all the time, which is great. In the real IELTS, you definitely want to use language that you know is correct, that you know is accurate. So in the real IELTS, don't test new language, okay? So make sure that you're using language that you're already familiar with and it's accurate. Because sometimes you're using expressions or new words that are newer to your vocabulary, and you're just a little bit off. You're just a little bit unnatural or awkward in the way that you're using them. Let me explain that a little bit more.
Okay.
Like here I said, which is your favorite way to communicate? And you said, which is good. You're thinking. You like to use the word, you like to use the filler, and that's fine. You said, I usually communicate with my friends as person. It's not as person, it's in person.
In person, yes.
It's a small difference, but it's an awkward mistake. Okay, so I usually like to communicate with my friends in person because with face-to-face conversation, I can have a more emotional feeling toward the person. I can feel more emotion. So here it's just the word order. Feel more emotions towards the person. Okay, that makes it much more natural. Like the other day, I was having, now I'll teach you a little bit of new English here, Baljeet. I was having a discussion with my friend after watching the World Cup. And it was a very charged conversation. Because we say emotionally charged, it means full of emotions. So we can simplify that and say, and it was a very charged and exciting conversation, okay?
Yeah.
So just kind of small mistakes and small fixes. But again, as I said to Juan, and this is true, the difference between 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, they're just little improvements, bit better, and then you get into those higher band scores. So you'll get there. You just have to keep practicing. Let me repeat this and then copy after me. Are you ready, Baljeet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I usually like to communicate with my friends in person because with face-to-face conversation, I can feel more emotions toward the person. Like the other day, I was having a discussion with my friend after watching the World Cup, and it was a very charged and exciting conversation. Okay, here we go. Which is your favorite way to communicate?
I usually like to communicate with my friends in person because with the face-to-face conversation, I can feel more emotions towards other person. Like the other day, after watching the World Cup, I communicated with my friend, and it was a charged conversation about the World Cup.
Yeah, don't include that last about the World Cup and you're fine. It was a very charged conversation. Perfect. Okay, good. And Baljeet, I could tell that you did that by memory, not by reading, right? So just by listening and repeating, and that's very good. So all of the people out there practicing like Baljeet, when you have good English, when you're at a band 6.5, 7, 7.5, definitely you should attempt to repeat what I say without reading. So just more thinking about the context and thinking about the advice. Very nice example of that, Baljeet. Thank you. Good job.
Thank you, you too, sir.
All right. Have a great day, Baljeet. Bye for now.
Bye, sir.
All right. Okay, that was really good. Let's try somebody else. There's a lot of people volunteering here, which is great. Okay, let's try Amra, another one of our members. I believe it's our member. Amra, are you ready? Let's try Amra. Let's see if Amra is available. Lots of people in here, which is fantastic, students. I'm going to reach out to as many of us as possible, or to as many of you as possible. Okay. All right, Amra, if you're still here, yes. Okay, let's do it. Hello, Amra.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
I am doing fantastic. What about you?
I'm doing good also. All right, Amra, where are you calling from?
I am from Azerbaijan.
From Azerbaijan. Nice. All right. And why are you taking the IELTS exam?
The reason why I'm going to pass this IELTS exam is to pursue my master's degree in accounting in the universities which are located in the UK or Canada or maybe Germany.
Nice, fluent answer, and I love the confidence in your answers. So you said the reason I'm going to pass this exam. Very good. So you know you're going to do it. That's good. That's the way to be. All right, Amra, I will ask you a couple of questions. Give me nice full sentence answers. Then I will give you some feedback. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, let's talk about communication. How can you improve your communication?
Well, there are different ways with which I can improve my communication skills, but I prefer mostly one technique, that is to be clear and conscious. Before engaging in any form of communication, I define my goals and my audience. And in this way, I avoid unnecessary words and irrelevant details. 2 years ago, I began to apply this technique, and this extremely helped me to sharpen my communication skills.
How have computers changed the way people interact with each other?
Well, computers have changed human interaction a lot. Despite that, computers have helped to bridge a global gap by connecting people around the world. They reduce social interaction and increased human-to-machine interactions. My elder brother, who spent hours sitting at the computer and talking with friends, had some difficulties at the workplace because of his reduced social interaction and inability to work in teamwork.
If you have to talk about a serious situation with friends or family, where is a good place?
The best place where I can discuss an important issue or decision with my friends or family members, I will definitely choose the sea, since it is quiet and not crowded. It helps me to concentrate on my problem and helps me to reduce stress and anxiety. Just 6 months ago, when I was deciding whether to pass an IELTS exam or not, I gathered with my mom and dad near the Caspian Sea.
Okay. Got it. Another place I would love to visit one day, the Caspian Sea. I've heard it's amazing. Okay, good. That would be about a band. 8.5. I would probably give you the 8.5. Some examiners maybe an 8. But you're in the higher range there for sure of the speaking scores. Your lexical resources, I would say a 9. Your pronunciation is an 8. Your coherence is an 8. Your fluency is an 8. Grammatical range and accuracy is closer to a 9. Let me review some of your answers and explain to students clearly why you get this mark. First of all, you gave me some very intelligent answers with great paraphrasing and great amount of detail. Okay. I asked you, how can you improve your communication? And you said, well, there are different ways which I can improve my communication skills. When you say a piece of information like that, it's good to explain what you mean. Through practice and formal classes, right? So you're giving me an idea. You want to explain that idea, right? And then you said, but I prefer one technique, which is to be clear and conscious. Before I engage in a conversation, I define my goals. That was good. Okay. And then you use some more good language. You gave a nice example for each of your answers. You said 2 years ago, I started to adapt this, and it helped it has helped to sharpen my communication skills. That was a nice expression, the sharpen my communication. Sharpen means to make better. It's an expression. It's natural. It was well used in this context. I really liked how effectively you used the present perfect throughout all of your answers. So you used present perfect very well. And you emphasized it very well for each question where it was useful. I asked you
because every class, because I attend every class.
Okay, it's working. So you're doing something well. Yeah, definitely, it's working. Okay, and then I said, how have computers changed the way people interact with each other? And then you gave me a very clever answer here. You said it has helped a lot, or they have helped, computers have helped a lot. You didn't say communication. You used the questions, which was really smart. You said computers have helped a lot. Very nice. You showed me that present perfect right away. And then you did a very nice contrast here. So you said, despite the fact that computers have connected people around the world, they have reduced human interactions. And then you made sure to clarify that with an example of your brother, who is, I hope it's not true, but it was a good example, who is having difficulties interacting face to face because he's spending so much time on the computer. That was really good. The last question, if you have to talk about a serious situation, and then here you should have used the conditional. What kind of conditional can you use in this situation to reflect that if you had?
Given a chance?
I wouldn't use given a chance in this case. There's another one that I would use that I think is better. It starts with a W. It's a time condition. I would use whenever.
Whenever? Whenever, yes.
Okay, so whenever I have a serious situation. Okay, so just that immediately, that's, I mean, again, right, these differences become very small when you're going for that band 9, but that's it. That would be the difference. So whenever I have a serious situation, the best place to discuss an important issue, and then you said would definitely, let's simplify this a little bit, would definitely be the sea. That's a little bit strange because it sounds like you're going to get on a boat and go for a boat ride out to the ocean. I think what you mean is the beach. So you go to the beach, right? Or the seaside. Yeah. Okay. So that was the one little kind of awkward mistake that pulled your score back from that 8.5 closer to an 8. And again, it's just small mistakes that cost at that level. So important issue would definitely be the seaside because the beach, and then you can say because the beach is calming. And it helps to reduce anxiety. Yeah, which is a bit of repetition, but it's okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to repeat this and then copy after me. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Whenever I have a serious situation, the best place to discuss would definitely be the seaside, because the beach is calming. It helps to reduce anxiety. When I decided to pass IELTS or not, I met my mom and dad near the Caspian Sea to talk about it. Okay, so if you have to talk about a serious situation with friends or family, where's a good place?
Whenever I have a serious situation, the best place to discuss would definitely be the seaside, because the beach is calming and it helps to reduce anxiety. When I decided to pass IELTS or not, I met with my mom and dad near the Caspian Sea to discuss this topic.
Good. Yeah. And I just paraphrased that by saying to talk about it, but it's fine. That way you get the 8.5 or the 9. Okay. All right. Very good. I'm really happy as an instructor to hear your high level of English by paying attention to the classes. That was really good, Amra. Thank you so much for volunteering and sharing your ability with us. That was great.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Absolutely. Keep up.
Have a
the
nice,
practice.
good day.
Thanks. Bye for now. All right. That was awesome. That was really great. Thumbs up for sure. No question about it. Sunantha, Tara, Sarah, I see that I missed you, but don't worry. I will keep you in mind. I do appreciate students coming back regularly and volunteering, because that is the way to improve. I've run out of time, but not necessarily true for all of you. Some of you probably have a bit more time to practice. So reach out to each other, like Sarah, Pink, Tara, right? You guys are just a couple letters off even in name. So, and you have both very good English ability. So reach out to each other, connect with each other, practice some of the speaking questions that are available on the website here, right? So don't just talk to me, but talk to each other as well. The speaking interface is for everyone, okay? It's for everyone, and it's free to use. You can use this for free. All you have to do is on the website, when you go to aehelp.com, okay, we were using aehelp.com for this. All you have to do is you just click this big red button to join the premium package that's right above my head there, or you can click this green button to use that speaking version for free as well. Okay, all right. And for the general IELTS, it's the green background. Same tools are available. You have the speaking partner interaction, and you have all of the same kinds of sections to the website, just focusing on general IELTS. So for general IELTS students, use gieltshelp.com. Again, those websites, these are textbooks for these live classes as well. So these websites, whoa, we had a nice long lesson today, are aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Definitely visit us there. Sign up for the premium package, one-time payment, lifetime access. Off you go to get those high band scores. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating the chat. I saw that you had a fair bit of work there today. It was very helpful to keep us on track. Thank you, members, for all your support. Amra, Sunantha, thank you so much. To our regular viewers, Sarah, Anahita, good to have you all here with me. Tomorrow, I will be doing task 2 with members, and then we will do listening parts 3 and 4 using our newer software, Companion, to get to make the lesson more interactive. So hopefully I will see you all tomorrow at around this time to join in on more English, more IELTS, and more learning. I wish all of you an awesome rest of the day, and I send much love to everyone wherever you are. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria, Canada for now. Bye, everybody.